Yeah. I mean, it can sometimes throw you off because you may be expecting a certain, contract to come through and then it falls apart. But, we talked about this offline. It's like the funnel's there, like how big is it and where have they come into the funnel? And you have to constantly be thinking about that and making sure that they're all like aligned with you so that it is a good business relationship or there is that respect. And I think it's nice to be able to notice that, for now, and then also share that information with people that are just jumping in to working for themselves, so.
Sure. Because, one of the things that I would also inquire of you is how important you feel the mentoring relationship is, because that's kind of where you're saying, speaking with younger business professionals is, being able to be a mentor and, being able to be, someone that's able to inspire them and, that they can look up to and learn from, because that's really one of the most valuable resources that's out there is a good mentor. And you were telling me offline, that's that you're kind of plugged in with that type of a thing there in the San Diego area as well. With
Bunker Labs is something that I recently, been aligned with. San Diego's a huge military community. Earlier this year, I was involved with the Rosie Network. I gave a social media workshop with them, and the Rosie Network is almost like it's a nonprofit as well, but they have something called the Rosie's List, which is kind of similar to Angie's List for like, service providers and stuff like that. But Rosie's List is like military and military spouse focused. And so I've been kind of like, one of my really good friends is a military spouse, and her and I, have been kind of like on this journey together. She's building her business, I'm building mine. We have accountability between each other. But, I got connected with this community via her, and, just kind of like really just being out there in the community and talking to others who may not understand how social media can benefit their business and how they can really get their stories out there pretty easily. I mean, it does take time, but, if they understand the tools that they can use and how it's very simple just to, keep talking about what you're doing and sharing your mission. I think it's something that, I think a lot of people have found and basically put a light on about that. It's like social media is not just about sharing your meals and your food and, where you're going to brunch, but it's like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is the legacy I'm trying to build. Check out this thing that I'm working on, and I think more people will align and kind of support you if they see your journey instead of just like, hey, I'm doing this work, I'm doing this business, now support me, give me money, versus like, oh, I followed you for, 6 months or so, and now you're launching your business. Wow, that's awesome. So I think it's.
And that kind of raises something that I was going to ask you about is with working in the people in that area, you have a workshop that you're putting together for the social media. So if you can tell the listeners about that, because that's it's going to be something valuable, especially the people in San Diego, LA area.
Yes. I mentioned her before. She's a military spouse. My friend Flossie Hall. She built a 7-figure business online through social media, and I saw it grow. I met her about 3 years ago, and I saw it grow. We were kind of like aligned in terms of, me advising her and her bouncing ideas off of me. And we decided, a lot of people were asking us like, what, how do we do social media? And it is time, you talk about your journey, you talk about what's going on with your business, and you're not always selling your stuff because people don't want to be sold to. They just want to identify with your brand and your themes and what are you passionate about. So we decided, why not throw a workshop for the local entrepreneurs, military, anyone. We have a wide open network in the San Diego entrepreneur community. and it's called Been There, Done That, not another boring social media workshop. And we won't have PowerPoints. We will actually have worksheets for you guys to, us to bounce ideas off each other. You'll be in a small, intimate setting, less than 15 people, and really just getting that one-on-one attention on how to do your social media, and not always just posting to every platform and hoping that something sticks, and really kind of forming the foundation of what you need to do for social media, and how it looks, what fonts you're going to use, what type of themes you're going to talk about, what are your pictures. And so there's a lot of it that a lot of people don't really realize, that how, if your look is consistent and your content's consistent with the values that you represent, then people will start to take notice. I've done it myself. I've helped other people do it, and so has Flossie. So we are doing that on November 8th here in San Diego. And if you want information on that, it's on Eventbrite, or I can give you the link, James, if you want to share it out too.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, that's also falling around the Veteran Small Business Week, I think it is. This right around there.
Oh.
So it's perfect time for that to be falling, especially for the vets.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning the hashtag No More PowerPoints, which to me is pretty funny, because as a veteran, we have a saying that's death by PowerPoint, and so all of the veterans in San Diego area are just going to love that one, because we got PowerPointed to death in the service. It was horrible. Like, paralysis by analysis. I mean, they were just like going, and they weren't even good PowerPoints. They were just cheesy ones. So not using PowerPoints, you're going to get a lot of positive response there. So
I think I think that's one of the things that was helping, with the mentor thing that I was talking about. Like, people, they have a good idea of their business, and then they have to go and do a pitch deck for like venture capitalists or something like that. But then they put up their pitch deck and it looks like crap. And I'm like, excuse my language, but it's like, I don't want to like discredit the work that they put into it, but that's everything. Sometimes how people view your business is how you present it online. Is it professional? Does it have, doesn't use Comic Sans, like a comic book font, does it have like a business? I'm thinking, like, if I'm a venture capitalist, I want to see a clean PowerPoint that doesn't have like blurry pictures and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that we always mentor these startup entrepreneurs. Like, they have great ideas, but let's put it, into a visual package that makes sense and resonates with people. So I definitely identify hashtag no boring PowerPoints. So that'll be fun. It'll be fun to not have a PowerPoint so people can be bored and sitting in a class. Like, they're actually getting to do work, which is one of the best parts, I think.
Yeah, and it adds so much value, because you're giving them meat on the bone. You're not just throwing a whole bunch of information on the screen and saying, "Here, take notes, go home." Be fruitful, multiply. I mean, you're actually giving them some meat on the bone, which is going to be good.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we noticed. People were kind of just like doing social media workshops. I did it. I've done it before, where I just, people sitting in a room, people watching me, but they still have to go home and now remember everything that they were told, and they don't do it because it's just too much time, or they forget what was being told to them. So this is a little more hands-on, which we're excited about.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I look forward to hearing, how that goes and how it turns out, because that's a very valuable service that you're putting out there for them. Now, when you're thinking about some of these businesses that you've been talking to and so forth, like with working alongside with Bunker Labs and the other people that you've worked with over the years, obviously you've probably seen some that, the entrepreneurs are just failing or giving up in their endeavor. What would be your insight just from your angle in the business as far as why they're doing that, why they're giving up or why they're failing?
Um, I mean, I think there's a multitude of reasons. I think a lot of the failure comes from, I mean, two things. I would say not understanding how long the journey can be. I
Mm-hmm.
think that if you go into it thinking you're going to make a ton of money like right away, you need to change. Like you're not gonna, it's not gonna be, I mean, you could get lucky. There's definitely people and examples like that. But I think a lot of it is really discovering who you truly are and who you're gonna serve. And this is
Sure.
not for veteran entrepreneurs, anyone really. Like who are you
Mhm.
serving and what problem are you gonna solve? And I think that takes really some introspection into who you are and what you want to offer people, but also a lot of research into your ideal customer and finding out where you can get them and are they going to be passionate about what you have to offer. And that is not a get rich quick, one of those like buy my workshop and tomorrow you'll make thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. I mean, whatever they sell to you, and that those things bug me because I'm like, okay, you're just kind of making a quick buck off,
Yeah.
someone who thinks that all the information you have is going to apply directly to their business, which it doesn't always do that. And that is one of the things I think that I've been able to share with other people that are thinking about getting into their own business. Like, can you be mentally strong enough to handle that you will have struggles, you will be at your lowest low, but you also need a tribe that's going to be there to help you and support you for your long term. And people can't understand that or don't want to align with that, then you don't need them in your life. I mean, it's been tough. I've noticed a lot of people drop off of my social circle because of that, because they don't get it. But the ones that are there for the long term, they're there, and I need them. Sometimes I need to bounce ideas off them, see what they say. And I like when people say, hey, your baby's ugly. Like I don't like that idea, because it really does challenge me to find out what I'm truly trying to get at, and
Sure.
or explain my idea a little bit better. So I think those two things, understanding that the journey is going to be long and can be tough at times, but also making sure you have the right people around you, in business and in personal life.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, there's lots of researchers that I love statistics, and so there actually is some research that I recently
Mm-hmm.
ran across that they were mentioning the number one reason for failure was in fact that people didn't know who their client was. They didn't know, or some
Yeah.
people say, their ideal avatar. They
Mm-hmm.
just didn't know who that was, and
Yeah.
or you had the right product but in the wrong place.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's you know those things. That's kind of some research that people need to do ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
because
Well, yeah, and I
unfortunately.
think that, sorry, I think that there's a lot of people that, and I love Facebook for reasons to connect me to other,
Sure.
being able to grow a community and have, true people following and support. But then there's also those ads that you see that are like saying, oh, you can build this business in 5 minutes and you'll be rich. And then that's like the downside. And then people think like, oh, I can build a business in 5 minutes. Cool. And I'll be rich. And they get marketed to, or they get sold to. And then, they don't realize that it's a much longer process than that. And they fail, so to say. Or maybe they
Yep.
weren't even qualified to fail because they weren't ready to be in business or something like that. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of those scams. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
one of my pet peeves is all of
Mm-hmm.
these things. Like buy this program for $15,000 and you're going to be able to be a
Mm-hmm.
millionaire in the first year. And yeah, you're starting a business. You need that $15,000 for other stuff. You need
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You need that for supplies and for your own personal marketing. You don't need
Yeah.
you don't need to be giving that to somebody else that doesn't need it.
Right.
You need to save it
Or
because
legal fees or whatever,
yeah,
like a
yeah,
very simple like traditional business model, you need